Okay, so the goal for this one is to do the same thing, so that when you click on a selected index of a repeater, it'll update a template graphic for you. Now for this, I'm going to assume that you have a template graphic already created, but let's go into one and just remember the parts of that needs to be done. So here's my template graphic. I have two sections that are important here. There is this data group at the bottom here, which needs to be relativized, and there's also the text title, which I need to handle differently. So for both of these, I need to go to Modify and Edit Properties, and this is where you specify the page parameters. So when I make this a page include, or when I include this as a page include, the node path allows me to update that relativized value, or that node path. So you just click and drag a node path in, give it the name, and then this is what is going to be used. So just use the one that we already have, and show you that this links over to the text title and the data group. So for the data group, I have the data flow on my main group here, which is the main relativized block. And this node path was just linked directly over to the path. And then it picked up all these points. So all we did was select all and relativize. That makes it so that when we update this node path, all those values update. Now the second part was the text title. How we did this was we used a get node block. So I just put that on the stage. It doesn't really matter where you put it. But I just added a get node block. We linked this node path to the path property. And then what we did was we used this name here. We just used that for the text title. So if I select the text title, this guy was just linked to the text of that. And that's all we did for that one. So that was pretty much it for the template graphic. From there, I'm going to create a new file and then insert a page include to use that template graphic. I'll just resize this a little bit. And then I'm going to link over that template graphic over to my page include URL. Hit enter. And then I get that node path. I get that page parameter. So this is the value that I want to update in order to update my template graphic. So let's start with the repeater. I'm going to go insert and then group. And then I need to specify the symbol. So I don't have the symbol on this graphic, so I'm going to go over to our previous graphic and steal it. Copy. That's because I don't have it down here under my projects. So I'm going to paste that in here and then use this as my symbol. So click and drag that over to the symbol of the repeater. Hit enter. And then now I need to populate the data and the renderer for that. Just going to rename this repeater.
We're just running to AMW. I'll be back in a minute. Dalton's here too. He's coming in the chats.
That's all then? I'll let Dalton know we're grabbing a bird.
Okay, so there's a couple things I need to do here. I need to be able to bring in the data, and I need to be able to display it, and I need to be able to update the template graphic. So I want to use these 4 VAV graphics to be displayed in my renderer. So that means that I need to specify the system controller above it. So on my repeater, I'm going to go into the data flow, and I'm going to use a get children block so that I can get the information for those 4 VAVs.
They're like $5, aren't they?
So get children block.
talk
So
to
for
you
here,
about
the device path, I link up device 102, or blah, 20100, let go, hit enter, and then this gives me the table. So this table, it's only convenient to use the has value one. We could use has children as well. But if we scroll down, those values are false, so that's what we want to filter on. So in order to filter, I need to get a filter block. Select the filter. And for this guy, my input, I want to be the output of the get children block. So this is the exact same table. And then we want to filter on has value. Equals equals false. Hit enter, and now our new table is going to be limited to only those 4 rows.
They only had those 2 meat dishes, the fish and
So the output, or this table, we want to link up to the data table of the repeater. So this is going to drive the repeater. We want to select the layout to vertical, in this case, just to show that. Now we need to link over to the relativized block. So the way we do that is use the renderer, which is the properties for for the symbol. So we click and drag the path column, like the entire path column, over to the device path. Let that go, and then that relativizes our repeater. So close that up. And then now what we want to do is make it so that when you click on any one of these indexes on the renderer, we update our template graphic. So in order to do that, we need another data block here. So I'm going to enter in a table row cell block. I'm sorry, that was loud. Okay, for table row cells, we're going to take the output of the table filter, because it was those 4 rows. We're going to enter that into the input of the table. And what we want to do is update the template graphic with one of these specific node paths, depending on which row we select. So how we do that is we need to specify somehow the row and the path. So for the column, we just type in path. So now it's only going to look at this path column here, and we need to specify the row. So how we do that is we go into the selection, and we pick single select. And then we link up the selected index over to our row. So we just click and drag that right over to the row column. So now if we preview this, if we update the selected index, oh, sorry, the data view went away. That is not, okay, let's try this. If we update the selected index, so we set it to 1, then for row 1, we get device 20102. If you set it to 3, row 3, we get device 20104. So 20104. And then the very first one is going to be an index of 0. So it's going to be row 0. We're going to get 20101. So all we need to do now is link this value, our output, over to the node path of our page include. So we go over to our page include, and then we just need to link to node path. So we select it and hit it there. So now if we close up these guys and go to preview, when you select any one of the index is in the repeater, it'll update that template graphic. This hover over action is totally separate. I actually did that on the actual repeater. So, oops, what did I do there? If I go over to the symbol, edit the symbol, that one was just a hover over action on this text block. So it was just a mouse enter leave and a color change. Alright, hopefully that part makes sense. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know, okay? Thanks.